gonna need, protection.
Sure, one helmet coming up. Blech.
I was thinking more like protection for down there.
Oh, why didn't you say so? Knee pads, you got it.
I'm talking about his personal area.
Say no more. I read you loud and clear. The old shoulder pads.
Look, I want a cup.
Cup, could you spell that?
C-U-P. I want to see you. Oh, my God.
All right, it's the One Star Cowboys podcast coming to you as we get ready for Cowboys Commanders Sunday, 3:25. Looks like it's going to be a Tom Brady game. So now that we're let's kind of look back at Sunday first. I know we've had a lot going on with Jerry. Jerry doesn't talk for some reason. The national media acts like that's a big deal that Jerry didn't talk after a road game, even though this year's the first time he's been talking after road games in a while. But you did get some Jerry Jones action today because the East-West Shrine game's coming to the Ford Center. Between that and the interview with Sean and RJ on the Fan, is there anything from Jerry that stuck out to you today, John?
It is funny, though, that you say that about him talking after every game. There's just so many people that talk, write, whatever, tweet about the Dallas Cowboys. I think that they're just so matter of fact about that they know everything. And you're just like, yeah, so he really hasn't been doing that the last couple of years. Oh, couple of years? Oh, geez. What? He just talks. I thought he talks after every game in the middle of the locker room. Yeah, he pushes Dak over to the side, just like right in the middle of the locker room. Like, it's just like, I don't know. It makes me laugh sometimes. I'm just like, I'm trying to think how to word this. There's just something about the Cowboys and Jerry Jones where even people that aren't ever really around it act so matter-of-factly about they know everything that goes on because he does a couple of radio interviews. They obviously see him quoted a lot and stuff like that. And so it did make me laugh a little bit. Just by my actions. I didn't even tweet out. If it was something that I thought was notable, I would have tweeted standing outside of their locker room in Charlotte that, oh, Jerry Jones isn't going to be talking or whatever. Like, no, he doesn't talk after a lot of road games. So, yeah, I don't think there was a lot there that really surprised me. I don't know what he could have really said, but
it's not even just Jerry Jones. It's the Cowboys in general. Because John, how many times has it been where, like, a coach is like 10 minutes late to the press conference? And,
oh God.
And you're talking about guys that are around the team who are just like, well, what's going on here? What's cooking behind the scenes? And it's just like, dude, a meeting ran late. Like, it's not that crazy.
And I think about that stuff a lot because we have so much media now that is so phony, not just in sports, obviously national news too, that there's a part of me that I think about that stuff from time to time when, like, Schottenheimer is like 5 minutes late for a press conference, or Dak talks on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday or something, like, where I could just totally turn it into a story that there's nothing there, that I'm just like, I just would rather be authentic. I don't know. If I'm wrong on something, I'm wrong, but I'm going to be wrong trying to do my best and not just make something up to get a couple of retweets or whatever. So in regards to today, I would say that the biggest thing to me is that he doesn't want to move on from Matt Eberflus. And that's the biggest thing that I'm saying, that not because that's the biggest thing to me. I knew he wouldn't. I've watched. I don't have to go back 20 years. I go back to 2020. They weren't going to move on from Mike Nolan at that time. They didn't even know Mike Nolan like they know Matt Eberflus. They're not moving on from Matt Eberflus. I'm not saying at the end of the season they might, but I'm saying that they're going to give him this full season. And it could get uglier than what we saw in Charlotte. But that was kind of the thing that stood out, that, he kind of gave him a vote of confidence, much like Steven did the other day, and then Brian Schottenheimer after the game. So that's certainly where you would point the finger when a defense is as bad as this one is, but it doesn't sound like there's going to be any changes made. And I fully expect things to not get dramatically better. I'm not going to say they're going to get worse, but I don't see enough to make me think that they're going to get a lot better. And so obviously Jerry was asked multiple times today on the radio and then with us at the Star about, making a trade, a few weeks away from the trade deadline. And of course he's going to say, yeah, if there's something there, but he's also not, he doesn't sound like he's being super aggressive about it. It's like if they get a call, and so I wouldn't really hang my hat on anything like that. Like, oh, they're going to make an Amari Cooper type trade because they need another wide receiver, 6 years ago or whatever. It ain't going to be like that. So I think it's more likely that they don't make a big move. Could they make like some type of a marginal move to add somebody that you're like, yeah, that's kind of more depth than anything? Sure. But to make something on the level of the Amari Cooper trade, I doubt that happens. And frankly, where this team's at right now, why would you? Like, where do you think that this is going? And then Jerry talking today about how, watching the Washington game yesterday gives him, the thoughts of how, how close the division is and how they're still not out of it and all that. And I'm just like, yeah, but look at the rest of your schedule. You have one of the toughest schedules remaining of any team in the NFL. Like, you're not getting it done in Charlotte against the Carolina Panthers, who are probably going to be a 500 at best team. Why would you think that all of a sudden you're going to string together all these wins as the schedule gets much tougher? So a lot of just Jerry being Jerry. And, when I say that, I mean being positive, even when not really a lot there to be positive about. And so for me, it's kind of like one of those things where I get you want to be positive because that's better than just being negative. If he wanted to be negative all the time, he wouldn't even talk to us. But there's also the 30 years now that we're talking about of where, what do you have to hang your head on that this is going to turn around? Like, nobody wants to hear comps, Charles Haley and Emmitt Smith and what Jimmy and those guys did. I mean, it's so far behind us that it's like, it kind of goes back to the whole Mozzie Smith thing. Jerry loves to go to that old saying of how, Tom Landry said with, defensive linemen, you got to give these guys at least 3 years or whatever. No, you don't anymore. And I'll tell you why. Because there's no person to point to go, see, there's the example. That's what happened. We could have given up on that player and look at what we got out of them. There's nobody that's like that. I mean, the NFL nowadays, aside from some quarterbacks and, certainly there are some players, but not with the Dallas Cowboys. If you don't see any flashes within the first year or two, cut bait. It's time to move on. It's not happening.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think quarterbacks are the exception in a few circumstances, and that's just because it's such a bigger thing than just a player's talent in that situation. But to go back to the Eberflus point, this is one of those things where it's very easy to call for one thing, but like we talked about on Sunday as well, what's your replacement plan if you were to, hypothetically, if you were in Jerry's shoes? I mean, where's Al Harris? Where's Joe Witt Jr.? I mean, where are these guys on the staff that you're just going to be like, hey, okay, we're going to light a fire under this defense and let go of Eberflus, and so now this guy's going to take over. This defense has already went through an overhaul once in terms of expecting to have Micah and then not having Micah when the season began. And it's not overhaul might be a strong word for that, but a change in what they expected there to be. They're not going to overhaul an entire scheme now in the middle of the season, especially not until the bye week. If you're given a 1% chance in season, maybe then, but like, I agree with John. I don't see anything changing this year. And to be honest, I could see this going into a second year with Eberflus as well, giving him a year to kind of get his players and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no,
you guys don't want to see Nick Sorensen move from special teams to the defensive coordinator?
I would
like. Can you imagine how much work that would take for that to happen? To answer your question, I think Aaron Whitecott, the defensive line coach, would probably be the person. But yeah, to your point, I agree with you. There isn't really an obvious name.
I'm not big on going straight to the coach, especially on defense too, where it is a little more nuanced than the offensive play calling, where you can see a few things. I'm not a big fan of that, but it is a hot topic, right? So like, I do want to dive into a certain aspect of it that I actually think Cowboys fans would share with me here. I think the personnel probably makes such a big difference that your defensive coordinator doesn't matter. Trading Micah a week before the season absolutely hijacks the team. There's a lot there. And we've talked a lot about the Micah stuff, but I do think the Cowboys hiring process through all of this is so flawed that it really does bother me to look back at that and think about Eberflus. As a guy who was on board with Eberflus at the time he was hired, because he does have a good track record of being a defensive coordinator. Like, if you look like McCarthy let go, the day Schottenheimer is hired, but they interviewed Robert Saleh. Now, it was clearly, or feels like it was clearly, a Rooney Rule type of interview, right? But they did interview him. And I think like you just like went out and asked like 100 football guys out there, like, who would you rather have, Robert Saleh or Matt Eberflus? You might go Robert Saleh. And hey, Robert Saleh might not have taken the defensive coordinator job, but it's just weird that they interviewed Robert Saleh. It never felt serious that they were interested in him with the lack of connection to him. And then he takes the 49ers defensive coordinator job the same day they hire Schottenheimer. And then 5 days later, they make the hiring of Eberflus full. I was just thinking about that weird timeline in January and how Robert Saleh is a guy that every Cowboys fan would probably be like, that would be a great defensive coordinator. And it's way easier to say in the middle of October after what we've seen with this defense. I get that. But it goes back to that common thing of the Cowboys just kind of moving slow and at their own pace while the rest of the league works at a faster pace.
Yeah, I won't be super critical of the Eberflus move at all. It's not working now, so it's very convenient to rip it. And I get that, and that's fine. But I just don't operate that way. I just, again, I try to be authentic, and I don't rip that move at all. And the reason why I say that is because it gave me big time vibes of Dan Quinn. You know, everybody, let the coach hire their own DC. So I get Mike Nolan. So there's a part of me where I'm just kind of like, I felt like they stepped in then. I've had people tell me that's not what happened, that Mike really wanted Dan Quinn. That's fine. I'm sure he did. But he was also the obvious name out there. Same thing with Matt Eberflus for me. Like, I get it. He didn't work out as a head coach. The thing for me is that, yes, did Matt Eberflus, was he ever the leader of a defense that was the best defense in the NFL? No. But he's been very good and at worst solid everywhere he's been. They were not terrible on defense in Chicago, and they were pretty good on defense in Indianapolis. We've never seen anything as bad as what it has right now. Clearly, he's not mixing with the players. They're not buying into his scheme. It's obvious. And so that's on him to fix that. And it's on the players to buy in and to find some middle ground. And that might not happen. Who knows? But I'm not going to go back and act like, we all were just sitting here when they said it was going to be Eberflus. And we're like, what a bunch of idiots. What are they doing? Like, no, that's not how it was. And for people that bring up Saleh, you don't get Saleh as a DC. If you think it's going to be Saleh, then, or you want to go back in time, at least be somewhat authentic on the idea that if that was the case, then maybe you're looking at right now where Robert Saleh is the DC and head coach and Brian Emmer's your OC. That's possible. That could have possibly have happened if you wanted to give Saleh the job. I don't think Brian was getting a head coaching job somewhere else. And so he wanted to get back into calling plays. That could be your coaching staff right now. But I don't know. I don't know if that gives you I don't know enough about Robert Saleh as a head coach for how everything else would be going. You know, I think he would be like, hey, I got the defense. Brian, you handle the offense. Clearly, I think the offense would have been just fine. But that would be the thing, because I don't see a guy, if you're offered the Niners DC job, you've already been the Niners DC, or the Cowboys DC job, even with Micah Parsons, I'm probably going back to San Francisco like he did.
Yeah. Well, money could.
Yeah, because that's what the Cowboys do. They pay their assistant coaches top dollar.
Yeah. Damn it. You're right. I hate when you're right. You're right. I actually like when you're right too. Would you agree with that, Saad, though? Because look, when you go back and look at the timelines on that, I know I'm creating some like crazy thing, but like it is like, why interview Robert Saleh then at all? And I'm just thinking a lot of people I think probably think higher Robert Saleh than Eberflus in the league.
Yeah,
before any of this happened this year.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think the scenario that John threw out there is the only scenario that you get Robert Saleh in the building, just because he would unless it's San Francisco, I don't think he would have been a DC really anywhere as long if San Francisco was still pursuing him to be DC. I don't think there was any other defensive coordinator job he would have taken over that. So, but also Schottenheimer, that was the timeline thing was weird for head coaching for sure. I mean, the whole thing with McCarthy dragging out, then Schottenheimer, I do think you probably lost John Fossil because of that. I think that's pretty I feel solid in saying that John Fossil would have had an opportunity to be on Schottenheimer's staff. But other than that, I don't think that there's really too much else that you can look back, because Schottenheimer, yeah, I think for him wanting to call plays and Jerry wanting him to call plays, they could have stuck with him on the offense. He wasn't getting any calls for head coaching anywhere else. So that's totally possible. But yeah, I don't think Saleh would be the DC here.
The only other second guessing you could do, especially because they're playing well right now, but Mike Vrabel is certainly somebody that you can second guess, because there is a friendship between Steven and Mike. And if they thought he was the guy, no matter what, they could have made that move before, he even got into that New England territory. I hate commenting about that definitively, because I don't know if there was behind the scenes deal already between Mike and Robert Kraft, but and hey, I could see that being maybe his dream job, but I'd like to at least, if you liked Mike Vrabel, I'd like to at least see him turn down the Cowboys job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I think the defense is certainly better right now. And the defense, if he's that coach, defense might still have Mike Parsons on it. Who knows? I'm saying this because I can entertain those hypotheticals. I can entertain that in hindsight. I can entertain Bill Belichick and his girlfriend being here right now, because that could have been a possibility. But there's just some that people will say that, and hey, as bad as it is right now, I'd much rather prefer this. That
would have been so fun though, dude. Like, it wouldn't have been the best thing for sure. But just the non-stop storylines. And God, it's would have sucked for you guys going in and asking questions. Oh, brutal.
Yeah, I don't
know.
know.
He seems so fun to talk to.
Shotty is fun to talk to, and I do like Brian. I like working with Brian. I wish him the best. I hope he's the Cowboys coach for a long time. I'd like to see him have success. But back to the Belichick thing, it's nowhere near. It's a completely different thing if he's the Cowboys coach. Because who's his opponent in Chapel Hill? He doesn't have one. There's nobody that's going to be out speaking again. He does any of that stuff. Jerry's got a comment about it multiple times per week. You know what I'm saying? So it's not apples to apples at all. It'd be a way different situation. Jerry would be making jokes about it, probably some stuff that might get him in trouble, so it would be a way different dynamic.
Yeah. And also I think it would be spicier with Jerry than necessarily with Bill anyways, because remember when he interviewed for the Falcons job, that was the whole thing where he needed all the control. He needed everything like that. I think the dynamics between him and Jerry Jones would make things a lot crazier with Jerry than it would with Belichick, because again, I don't think he would be, I think he's just kind of, sacrificed everything that he's kind of stood for throughout his NFL career, but I don't think he really would do that in the NFL ranks. And I don't think he'd have the opportunity to.
Yeah, so I used to think that 6 months ago, I would always have said that. I don't think the reason it would work between Bill and Jerry is because Bill would never ... Doesn't matter what I say after that, because everything he's done in the last 6 months washes all of that away. I don't know. I don't know
out the window.
I don't know what he stands for anymore. So I can't say that. I can't say that he wouldn't have taken the Cowboys job and been like, yeah, Jerry, I mean, I want to be the guy that has picks the groceries or whatever like that. But then Jerry comes in and does what Jerry wants to do. I could see him just going by and just coaching and doing the same stuff at the podium about how we're on to the Panthers, we're on to the Commanders, and doing that. And then Jerry's over there talking and him being fine with it. I mean, again, the stuff he's going through right now, if I'm coming out of a coma, I'm expecting you to tell me that, yeah, he's dealing with this with the Tennessee Titans or something. The University of North Carolina Tar Heels basketball program. Oh, it's the football program? Really? So everything he's done over the last 6 months opens the door for any other possibility now.
Yeah, I also think Belichick, another part of him, maybe he's just chasing Shula at this point, and he doesn't even care that much about the way that he was in New England and so laser focused. He's like, just get me these 13 more wins in the next 2 seasons, 13, 14, and let's just be on with it. I can see that.
Hey, those stories started surfacing last week because he heard Callahan was going to go, and he's just like, I'll take that Tennessee job right now. Bill, wait, seriously, it's the Tennessee Titans. Give me it. No,
reverse Saban.
I can fall into a couple wins there.
Leave college, go to the pros. Reverse Saban. Oh, that'd be beautiful.
And I just want to apologize to anybody listening to this that I took it down that path. We didn't.
Well,
we didn't need to go down a Bill Belichick wormhole.
Well, we did, but I couldn't stop thinking about the over under on how many comments that tiptoed the line of appropriate or not that Jerry would have made about Bill's girlfriend at this point. The age gap. Like it's over 3.5, I think, would be the line that I would set so far through week 6 or 7. But because he couldn't help himself, and it'd be funny, and it'd be kind of like, oh, it's just Jerry being Jerry, but you know it would happen.
It would be funnier. It would be funnier the moment that a reporter took that radio show comment to the podium would be the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah. And I'd be willing to fall on that sword for Cowboys fans.
It's fair game.
You're so noble. Too early to start, because I know Jerry was asked a few things about, trade deadline. He's been asked all that stuff. We're still, so we're 3 games away from, trade deadline, but too early to start speculating on the future of George Pickens. And I wanted to talk about this before CeeDee Lamb comes back. So A, do you have a CeeDee Lamb update as we record this on Tuesday evening? And B, or is it too early to start speculating on the future of George Pickens?
I don't think it's too early. The expectation is that CeeDee Lamb will do at least something in practice this week and have the chance to play Sunday against Washington. Sounds pretty similar with Kevontae Turpin and Tyler Booker. And it makes sense that these would have been kind of the target date that you're going after, is having these guys, give them a week, extra week, get back for Washington. That's the game, that, division game. You're not going to need these guys against the Panthers. You can beat them with, never mind. So, I do think that CD, as long as there's no setback, I think that he'll be out there. Probably won't be in his normal number of snaps, probably play a little bit less, but I see him playing against Washington a lot, again, like as long as there's not any setback or anything like that. So, but in terms of Pickens, yeah, absolutely, it should be talked about. I just keep going back to who his agent is, and a lot of people just say right now, just get it done right now. Just get it done right now before, don't even let him get to free agency. Well, I don't know that that's going to happen. Like, yeah. I don't know that either side really cares for that to happen right now. So
sure,
I would say your worst case scenario that he could get the franchise tag, and then so I think it would be pretty.
He comes to camp.
I mean, hey, there's still a long way to go between now and the off season, and there's a lot of things that can happen during this season to change, your feelings about that. But if it's rolling like it was rolling in Charlotte when CD comes back, I still don't think they're making the playoffs. But if they just look dynamic on offense to a level where you're just like, well, you just can't give that up, then you franchise tag him, and you're like, well, let's run this back for another year. Let's use some of these first round picks on fix this defense. Let's, go into the offseason trying to target some areas where we just need the defense to be middle of the pack. We're not asking it for it to be great. And maybe you even add another young runner to the mix as well. And now you have this offensive line that has been together now for a couple of seasons. I can see where you'd be like, we're not letting George go, because there were some things he did in Carolina that, the outcome of the game ruined it, but there were some things he did in that game that were just incredible. So the idea of having him on one side of the field and CD on the other, it sounded good 6-7 months ago. To me, it sounds even better after seeing these last few weeks.
Yeah, I think it sounds good. The only reason I would say it's maybe a hair early on either way, whether you're talking about trading him or signing him or whatever, is just that these last 4 weeks have been the absolute best circumstances that you'll get George Pickens under, which is CeeDee Lamb is not there, so he's the number one. Dak Prescott playing at an MVP level, that's number 2. And then just the fact that he's on a contract year, so he's heavily motivated already. And I think that's the trifecta right now. And now you're going to see, and to be honest, the Cowboys have more or less been winning in the sense of they're not, tanking. They're not going down the hole. They're a 500 team or whatever. So, were at that point. So I think give it a couple more weeks, see how it is when CD's back, see how it is if a couple of losses hit. Again, there was some concern about how Pickens would handle things on the sideline. I think all that stuff, the trade deadline is not tomorrow, it's not next week. In terms of any decision that you have to make, I'm with John. I don't see any scenario in which a contract gets agreed to before the offseason. So now if you're talking about some big thing, whether it's an extension or moving on from him while he has value, I just think you have to wait it out for a little bit more.
Do you think you would get if we were to go down that route, do you think you would get more for him if you traded him now as a rental or in March when the team knows they have to sign him to a deal if they want him?
Yeah, it's tough to say right now because I feel like we're in a little bit of a different NFL trade market than we've seen in the past. Like, we've already seen some kind of moves being made where I was like, wait, is this the NBA right now? Is this Major League Baseball? Like, this is kind of getting interesting. So because of that, maybe there is a little bit more to be made right now, but I don't know what the offers would be. I also don't think that they would be high enough that for me personally, that I would even consider them. Is someone offering you a 1?
Buffalo
No.
Bills.
What are they giving me? A 3? No,
Boy,
I'm good.
Don't you guys think, though, that's the type of player that could put Buffalo, like, there? Like, dude, they don't have...
Cool. You're basically giving me a 3, possibly, which is going to be a 4 because they're a team that's drafted in the back of the round. I'm just going to keep George Pickens because I'm also not thinking about just this. I'm thinking about like franchise tagging him. I'm talking about me. And I find it very hard to believe that they're not thinking the exact same thing. Whatever Jerry wants to say, I find it very hard to believe that they're going to let him walk out the door if he keeps building on what he's been doing. I mean,
believe
this is an organization that it's very clear where the money is spent. It's on offense.
Yeah. Another David Mogoletta client is going to go into camp unhappy.
Well,
I mean, to me, this is a very unique situation.
Why would Jerry care? Wait. Why would Jerry care about that? If he's that unhappy throughout camp, you trade him right before the season starts because that's when you can get the best value. Jerry told us this. Man, are you not listening in class when the teacher's talking? Come on.
He just talks so much. It's hard.
Let him cook.
He cooks all the time. The fridge is full of leftovers. He's cooked too much. Okay. That's just okay. Okay. I'll back off to George Pickens.
If somebody wanted to give them a 1, then yeah, you're doing that. I would. You have the potential to have 3 1s in this next year's draft. I can listen to that, but I don't think that you're getting anything more than a 3, and because they're looking at it as a rental type thing too. Whatever team that is, they don't have them signed beyond the year. So no, I'm not that interested in it right now. Off season, yeah, you could possibly talk me into it, but
we've discussed before. NFC is wide open a million times. AFC, Ravens dead, even though they've got a very easy schedule down the stretch. If they get Lamar back, it's not crazy to see how the Ravens get in the playoffs and make noise. Chiefs and Bills are going to be there. And I'm just looking at teams like that might think they've got a chance to go do something. It is very ironic that like the Steelers, like, we could use a wide receiver. Like, oh, okay, you had one. But like, it's just feels like it might be a little more urgent. There's already whispers. The insiders are all talking. Trade market could get a little crazy, whether it does or not, whatever. It feels like it could be a time to pounce is what I'm saying. And I know we're going to play this game Sunday, and it wouldn't surprise anyone if the Cowboys beat Washington and we're still trying to win the division. That's another thing that really, I think, was such a crucial point to me of that loss on Sunday. Was not like, okay, the defense is bad. We know that. But like, it's like, dude, the Giants just beat the Eagles. And then we saw what happened with Washington last night against Chicago. You just have all these things that make you go, it is still kind of attainable. And I don't know.
For what team?
To win a division, to the Cowboys. No, it sounds like a joke. I know. But like,
yeah,
seriously, I'm saying
I don't see that path at all. I just don't.
No, I don't either, dude. And like the Philadelphia was a S show at this time in last year as well. Like they were not playing well last year.
There's levels to this though. Not an S show like this defense.
No, not at all.
This S show defense. That's you're not just going to turn that around in a week or two and then all of a sudden be like, no, they're a pretty good defense now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not. I just cannot buy that at all. If it happens, man, I would love to be stunningly just wrong about this and just blown away that they somehow got everybody to buy in and everyone just playing 11 is 1. But you're not fooling me.
Well, no, that's what I was saying. That's my point is like the Eagles are probably the class and they'll get it together and we're all fine. Like that's probably what's going on here.
But they also have
a
lot of pieces that make you think that they know how to get it done because they've gotten it done.
This is why every time I talk myself out of it, this is why you don't trade Micah. You sign him and figure it out and see what this is, because this is not the worst defense in the league if you have Micah. And there'll be a lot of people that argue that, although we have over 1,000 snaps of data that proves the opposite.
Well, I think you'd be foolish to say that it would be still the worst defense and just as bad. That's silly. No, it would not. But I argue I'm on the side of we are not going to act like this would be a quote unquote good defense. That's the part where I will argue with anybody about it, because I've seen him on some of these defenses where obviously, Micah Parsons is on this roster. Your ceiling is so much higher. There's no question about that. But to act like, if you just had that constant pass rush and him with the new contract and he'd be the leader of the group and there's a chance it could be even worse in terms of behind the scenes with the, players versus Eberflus's scheme and stuff like that. It could be even worse. Not to mention that I know over in Green Bay land that, you're not getting the full experience there. We're then getting Tuesday podcasts where just blowtorches to the locker room and the coaching staff going on too. So we are not going to act like that. This was just like, man, what are we doing? I mean, God, that would have been it. It would have been fine. Like, I easily see a world where this team has one more win, maybe two. But again, even with two more wins, that was to get to maybe 10 with that navigating of what's ahead for you. That's pretty daunting. So
they've always been bad. He made them not be that bad.
Sure.
Well, that's enough to win you a lot of games when Dak's playing at the level Dak's playing with, and you add George Pickens and you're running the ball a little bit. Last week.
Oh no, they would definitely be a better team. They certainly would have a way better shot of making the playoffs. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I can see a world where he's on the team and this team still misses the playoffs with everything that you said. I don't think he's the elixir that just fixes all, and this crew is going back to 12 wins like it was 2 years ago. I don't think that that's happening. I really don't. And I do want to say that the schedule has a big part of it too. Like that doesn't do them any favors going forward. So
yeah, especially because Micah's game was kind of predicated on early season. He's at his best, and I think when you get later in the season, he does wear down a little bit. That's not hypothetical or anything. We have a sample size on that. So, and that's when your schedule is going to get really tough. But yeah, I mean, there, like you said, I agree with what I think both of y'all are kind of saying the same thing, where the defense would be better. It just wouldn't be a good defense. And that's not all on one player. And I don't think one player really makes that big of a difference. If everybody else is so lopsided and bad, but look, we heard it when the Green Bay game happened. I'm talking 2023 Green Bay game. Dan Quinn heard it from Micah Parsons on his podcast. He heard all about being out-schemed, all that stuff. And Dan Quinn was the guy that everyone wanted to be the next head coach at the time and is a great defensive mind and did have a really good impact on that defense. And we heard it with somebody that Micah, as we've heard since then, has a lot of respect for Dan Quinn, and actually, because that was the only defensive coordinator he ever knew in the NFL. And that was Dan Quinn then. So Matt Eberflus, I think I agree with John. I think there would be, there's also, we've talked about this before with Micah in the locker room. Micah wasn't a guy, a leader in the sense where you're having that entire side of the ball galvanized behind Micah Parsons. Like, there was a Micah clique, and that Micah clique rode harder for Micah than anybody you can imagine for one player. But that clique was relatively small, and that
he would have galvanized that defense like Romo helped Dak. What?
Right. Yeah, and that doesn't even get to the point of the offense and how they feel, which I think it's fine if Dak is there and he's healthy. I don't think Micah's any little bit of negative influence would have any effect on the offense. But I'm just saying, like, I think the locker room part is something that, it's hard to kind of put a tangible feel on that.
I did have thoughts though, watching the game on Sunday I know that they wouldn't have done this, but man, I would have entertained Micah straight up to Carolina for Derek Brown. And that was supposed to be one of those other teams that were involved. But it makes me think that they probably wanted Brown, and because they said they had to get a defensive tackle in return, so they probably wanted Brown and then something else, like probably had not. But
you would have entertained that?
I would have entertained that, yeah.
John,
you got to remember that, to me, the worst part of the Micah Parsons trade, to me, is that you sent him to the Packers. There are levels to what's wrong with it, to me. line one for me is that you send him to the Packers. I'm way more interested in sending him to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Sure.
And Dave Canales and the crew to deal with that. Way more interested in that and seeing how that goes, as opposed to sending him to a team that you're basically being like, here you go. Well, you're in the Final Four. Have fun. So that's a big part of it for me as well. Also, would entertain straight up for Quinnen Williams as well.
Yeah. Real quick, a conversation we had on Sunday. I'm curious about your hypothetical on this. KT brought this up. Tep McMillan or George Pickens, if everything you know right now, what would you do at this point?
Yeah, that's tough. It's not as easy as just saying George Pickens, because I don't think Tep McMillan's playing with a great quarterback, and I think that there's a lot there, and he's a young player, and so that is a good question, because it is tough. It's
that was my thing. I thought it was. I think it's, for me, it's pretty smoothly that I'm taking Tep McMillan, mostly because he's a good player, but he's 4 years on a rookie contract with a 5th-year option. To me, you kind of give him a big deal as soon as CDs is up, and you kind of have it in rotation. You have two guys like that, but yeah.
I think for me, I wish you would have asked me this a week ago, because I am coming out of Sunday very, very big prisoner of the moment. And that ball he caught across the middle and then leaped over that dude is one of the filthiest things I've ever seen.
That was dope.
I don't remember that at Georgia. I don't remember that at Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Feel free to send me the clips. Nasty.
Yeah.
So when I was like, what's funny about that? That play kind of, to me, has some similarities to the Cowboys defense. And when I say that, those are things that you just don't see happen on Sunday. And it's the same thing with the Cowboys defense. I can see some of that on Saturday. Now, on Saturdays, it's usually got to be Alabama playing Kent State to see that. You probably aren't even going to see that Alabama-Auburn. But that much green grass before you really even have to do anything. It's the whole, what's your basement? The basement on this run play will be that I get at minimum 3 yards. That's phenomenal. That never happens. In the NFL, the basement is, I think that, I don't know. I wonder what it is. What are you supposed to get an average running play? It's not 3 yards, not right out the gate. There's not enough green grass where, at worst, you're going to get 3 yards. Not in the NFL. And that's the way that the Cowboys defense is. And so that's such an outlier that, watching them play defense, that's that George Pickens play. I can see that on Saturdays. But on Sundays, you don't see that from a lot of guys to just really just own somebody like that.
Yeah, that was incredible. That's another thing. That's what hurts the most about all of this, I think, is just to burn a Dak and George Pickens performance like that.
Yeah.
One of, if not the best quarterback wide receiver tandems over the week, just all gone because he couldn't get a stop. And I know there's a few plays, and Saad and I talked about it the other night, where the offense could have helped you out a little more in the fourth quarter, but we should not spend any time right now talking about the offense.
After the game, I said about those plays the last time the Cowboys had the ball, I go, this is so wrong, but I don't care. I told some other reporters, I go, why would you just check it down in that situation, back-to-back plays, and use those yards? And I joked. Probably because those plays get 10 or 15 yards against their defense in practice. Yeah. Do the check down play. Oh no, this isn't our defense. This isn't going to work like that here. minus 6, Of
course the defense is playing with confidence.
God, I don't want to turn it too much back, but because I didn't get to talk to you guys after, hey, it's great for Rico. That's great. But I did not look at that game of man, you got to really reassess about the Rico thing. It's there's about 15, 25, 30 backs that probably would have had that game. There was so much green grass around, all these runs. And also to the fact of there probably is a lot more if that's an elite of an elite. If that's McCaffrey or Bijan, I'm thinking there might even been a 30, 40 yarder tucked in there. Rico didn't even have one of those type of runs. To me, that's a 250 plus game for an elite back, And hey, props to Rico. He played great. Don't get me wrong. But when you're watching that game, you're this makes no sense that you have that much room in a National Football League game. You don't have that much room, or you shouldn't at least, when it's a Super Bowl contender in Week 16 playing a team that's like, hey, they only have 2 wins. They already are playing a bunch of back. You don't see that much green grass like in this game. Like just how high the basement was for what the worst possible scenario on some of these plays would be. You're just like, well, yeah, even if they make the tackle there, it's still after 4 yards. Now he's got 9. Like it's just like the confidence you must have going against that defense is got to be through the roof. And so, but yeah, I guess sorry I got off track there, but yeah, Pickens. That's a good question though, man. Yeah, Ted on a rookie deal though, with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, it is tough to turn away from that. I guess in that scenario you don't get Tyler Booker though, so I guess
Right.
Yeah, factor that in.
Wait.
Or do you think if they go that direction, they would have made a move for a right guard in free agency or for a trade? Doubt that.
Yeah, maybe they trade down. Maybe someone blows them away because Ted's there. I think there's stuff.
That would be somebody by the name of TJ Bass. That's what would be going on at right guard.
I mean, yeah. Well, I do think they can get the running game back on track against Washington. Washington, very middle of the road. They're a little beat up a little bit as well. The Dietrich Wise injury earlier in the year, kind of a big deal. Tough loss for them against the Bears last night. Man, they had that thing done when they had that conversion. I think it was 3rd and 15, and they checked down and they got the first down there, and then the fumble. The weather was a little crazy, but that was a tough loss. And man, Jaden Daniels is getting killed a little bit because he was kind of laughing as he walked out the field. Although he wasn't, he was just making a face in the moment. He wasn't laughing at the.
I'm telling you that's what you get with him, and I don't mean the laughing part. I mean that he is so like just chill. Yeah. And that's why he's able to be so good, like in the playoff game last year against Detroit. Like he is very unflappable. Because I had a kind of a similar feeling when I saw him in the opener a few years back when Florida State played LSU at the Superdome, and excellent drive, should have tied the game up, and they had the extra point blocked. LSU did. And they immediately panned him on the bench, and he kind of had a look like that on his face where he just didn't seem like he was even fazed by the moment of it. Like he just is like, hey, well, we got a game next Saturday. We'll be fine. Like there's something about that with him that you kind of have to factor in. Like he does not get real super worked up one way or the other. And judging by where his career is right now, where it appears to be going, I think that that's probably a great trait to have for a quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Boy, Drake May is looking really good, isn't he?
He is. He certainly is.
Where we stand on the offensive line this week? Feeling better about Booker? What do we think?
Yeah, I think that there's a good chance. I mean, last week we saw him get out there and work on the resistance cords, which we had not seen the week before when CD got out there, and their injuries kind of lined up around the same game, both high ankles. But he was out there last week, so I'm thinking that there's a chance that he's back in that starting lineup. I think that was it makes sense that would be your goal all along with some of these injuries. Like, hey, take the week against Carolina. They probably felt like they had a good chance to win without Turpin and Booker and CD. Give you another week and then be back for Washington because that game's a division game that means a lot more. And so I think there's a good chance that you have your, you're not going to have Cooper Beebe, but you have the other 4 starters back out there on the offensive line. Beebe was working on the cords too, though. So he's making some progress. So seems like that probably isn't too far away. Jerry said that just like Steven said last week, overshown. It looks like the target on that is probably week 11 because they have the week 10 bye. So then you bring him back in week 11. So saying reinforcements are on the way is they are, but still probably 3-4 weeks away.
How much do you think those cords cost?
I don't know.
Is that some workout you can just kind of knock out in the living room there?
I think you need a person walking with you. They're kind of weighted.
What are you guys? What's your workout of choice?
I walk now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should run, but I don't run nearly as much as I should.
I think
because it sucks. Let's be honest.
I think it's bad on your knees. Yeah.
I question people that like running. Okay.
It
sucks. It's miserable.
There are people who do achieve that runner's high where it becomes a habit. And I do understand that, but I do think it's bad.
Runner's high. Yeah. What stage so is that after the puking stage? Like when is running fun?
I can't say, but I had a little, I don't look like it, trust me, but I had a little running stage 10 to 15 years ago, let's be honest. And, it was like, all right, this is what I do, and it's just like, I run a lot, and it was just part of my routine. And then I quit. Hurt the back, man. It's real bad. And you have to really work your core out if you're going to be doing that, because you're just jamming your feet down on the ground and it's shaking your back up. You have to have a strong core. I'm a big gym guy, though. No, I'm kidding.
You do seem like you're a big gym guy.
I go every day. I literally go every day. Now, am I doing what I'm supposed to do while I'm there? That's a good question.
What are you supposed to do? Take video and you post on social media?
I don't take video at the gym. What am I, a psychopath? You don't take video at the gym.
I thought that's what you're supposed to do at the gym. That's so everybody knows that you were there.
Dude, where I go, it's just a bunch of old people. So,
do they set up their video?
No, there's no video there. There is a little bit of football small talk in the sauna sometimes, but one guy was trying to explain a Micah trade to a guy who'd never heard of him. It was very strange.
Oh, God.
It was tough. And it was, that's where I wish I actually was recording that, because I was like, this would be the best YouTube video ever.
There's a team in Green Bay? They had an NFL team?
The guy said, I don't really watch football. And the guy kept telling him the trade is very, start to finish.
Yeah, you got to start recording when that stuff happens.
I know. Yeah. Okay. Let's do picks. We'll get Kent to send his in because he couldn't be with us today. But I will tell you that your winner last week was Kent at 2-1. First place is John at 9-8-1. Yes, we have a tie. Kent in second place, Saad in third, and I'm in fourth. Jeez. Saad, we'll start with you, though. I'm going to give us, from early lines, Cowboys plus 2.5 at home against Washington.
Man. Give me the Commanders. Yeah.
John?
I don't know. It just feels really hard to, after that performance, to see a scenario in which, Bill, I guess, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, it just feels tough to not see a scenario where he just has a gigantic game on the ground and the offense for the Cowboys isn't able to get on the field as much. So yeah, give me the Commanders.
John?
Yeah, I have similar feelings, and especially because they lost. If they find a way to beat the Bears, maybe they're riding a little bit higher than they are going to be coming into this game. I think that they're going to feel the importance of this, and I just don't. The Cowboys defense has not shown me enough for me to give them the benefit of the doubt against anyone, and until that happens, it's going to be tough to pick the Cowboys. So yeah, give me Washington.
Give me the points and give me the Cowboys.
It's not a bad pick. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me,
I don't know.
The line? What's the line?
2.5.
Yeah, so it's pretty similar to what it was like. I don't know, actually, judging by some of the security guards, I mean, they were hype about the Panthers winning that game. And that line was like 3-2. I was like, guys, calm down. And this Cowboys team's not like that. Clapping and stuff, cheering when that goal went in. I was like, oh my gosh, calm down.
John, a wise man told me that it's hard to win in this league.
Any given Sunday.
I forgot which one.
They pay their players too.
I think the Cowboys are going to be able to run the ball, which a week after they weren't able to seems a little weird. I think they're going to be able to run it too, keep the ball a little bit more. I do think the worst thing that happened to them, and I surely they know this, and they don't need a 6-minute drive to end the game like that to where the team bleeds out the clock. Like, it is the worst way to lose and the best way to win when you do that to a team and you don't give them the ball back. I mean, it's a beautiful thing in football that Carolina executed. And I think the Cowboys might play a little more risky defense this week. Why? What the hell am I talking about? Like, they're all of a sudden going to start playing crazy? No.
If they're faced with that same situation, I think we're going to see the Cowboys try and pick up the running back and carry them into the end zone.
Why didn't they?
I don't know, but they're going to have to work on that this week. That's the level this defense is at. We're going to have to start seeing some reps on that.
It's not even, dude, just push him in. It's not even Travis. It's Trevor. It's his little brother. Push him in. Gosh, that was so annoying to me.
So bad.
Like, it didn't even look that different than most run plays. Like, I know there are a few guys who are trying not to tackle. I was like, it kind of looks the same. Like, just grab him.
Can you just imagine that, though? The visual of two Dallas Cowboys picking up a Carolina Panthers player at the 5, running him in the end zone and dumping him in the end zone, while other Carolina Panthers are trying to tackle them so that they go down.
It is a little.
That would be awesome.
I'll go first on the second game here. Philly at Minnesota. I'm going to take, and it's Philly favored by 2.5. I'm going to take the Vikings plus 2.5. It is the Carson Wentz revenge game.
Yeah, I didn't know what their quarterback situation was. Is it still? It still Wentz?
Official yet, but I think it was. I think
It's like
McCarthy's still a couple weeks away.
Yeah, because McCarthy's a little bit away, but then Wentz tore his labrum on his like non-throwing shoulder. So, yeah, give me the Eagles though. I think they get back on track.
As of the time we're recording this, JJ McCarthy is back at practice, and there's no starter named yet. So I take it back that it's a Carson Wentz revenge game. Go ahead, Saad. Who'd you say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll take the Eagles. I think they get back on track in this game.
John.
Yeah, Eagles. They got Dom on the sideline, so give me the Eagles. Also, by the way, we didn't talk about this. I never even saw Fireman Ed in New York. You know how disappointing that was for me?
Is he still with us?
Oh, man, I guess I should look that up. Hold on. I should have said that until I looked.
Did you get a picture with Sir Purr?
I didn't. I saw him. We made eye contact, but no, it was just not in the right setting. We're gonna have to take that out if he's no longer with us.
Nah, he's doing great.
Okay, good.
Let me tell you what. Give me Crazy Ray over Fireman Ed all day.
Okay.
I'm just saying, Crazy Ray way more fun than Fireman Ed. Fireman Ed always angry, always sad, but we do appreciate his service.
I just went to his Wikipedia page, and it says, quote, during the butt fumble game, a rout of the Jets by the New England Patriots on Thanksgiving night 2012, Anzalone left the game before halftime, stating that he would no longer lead cheers at Jets games as Fireman Ed. Huh. On the butt fumble game?
Yeah, that's what it took.
Oh.
Well, maybe he was. Maybe if he was back, maybe he's not going. He has been going though. We've seen him go games the last few years. Maybe the Mark Sanchez situation caused him to not go.
There it is. I knew you'd tie that in.
Someone had to. It doesn't even make sense.
No,
I played in London. It doesn't even make sense.
I'm glad you did. I'm proud of you. That was excellent. I was just interested to see how you were going to weave that in.
Someone needed. What's
absolutely
stopped on that too? Like he's out of the hospital. Like what else?
It's one of the most wild stories I've seen in the NFL.
It's so crazy,
especially because of when you cover the combine, you're in that area quite often, and it is the most random spot for that act to go down. So it's the whole it's one of those type of things where you see the news story or maybe you hear about it from your parent or something like that, and they're just next year when I'm in the hey, be careful when you're there, Mom, calm down. This is in the most random place where there's a Subway at the back of a Marriott, and it's in the most random loading dock spot that is not a spot where it's dangerous or anything like that. It is wild that went down there. Let me just say, I've been there way too many, at least 10 times I've walked by that area. And
yeah, but should we be surprised after the Starbucks incident at the combine last year?
True.
Dangerous city.
Oh, that is true. I forgot about that. Almost fisticuffs. That's right. You know what? I'm not even going to the combine next year. Just by my safety.
Cover it. Remotely, like the Rams.
I agree. We're gonna have to. Yeah, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna talk to Athletic about this.
I'm
nervous.
I wouldn't say that out loud because media companies are making cuts all the time. Let's say that the other game I have for you. What, John? You'll start this one. I have us Tampa Bay and Detroit Monday Night Football. Lions 4.5-point favorites. I'll let you go first, John.
Yeah, Baker's just playing way too well. I just don't. I don't know how that they're going to be able to stop him. I know that he's got 27 receivers hurt, but there's just something about that guy that he's just going to find a way. Give me the Bucks.
Saad?
But there's no way I believe that. This game is set up just like the Chiefs game was set up for the Chiefs. Coming off that loss that the Chiefs had, playing at Ford Field, I fully expect the Lions to win that game. But no, give me the Bucks.
Well, and the 4.5. You're taking
yes, and the points. Yes, of course.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what I was going to say is this is the Lions-Chiefs game because just you're down your top three receivers and the Lions, honestly, they could have the scoreboard is way more unkind to them than how the game actually went. You get all the way down to the 1 yard line. You have that penalty and delay of game, all that. Amon-Ra St. Brown does not drop that 4th down pass 9 out of 10 times. I think the scoreboard looks a lot more out of hand. I thought the Lions actually played a decent game until the end. Also, Patrick Mahomes was just in another realm in that game, and there's nothing you can do about that, and that's fine. So and the Lions in this game,
and then also the Chiefs. So locked in, didn't even commit one penalty. So that it was
that's
just
right.
Andy Reid, tip of the cap, man, locked in. 13 penalties a week before 0 in this game. I literally watching that game made me think. I was like, have I ever covered a Cowboys game where they had 0 penalties? And I just started laughing. I'm like, of course not. There's no way. It would never happen.
Saad, you're taking the Lions.
Yes, I'm taking the Lions.
Dude, the points are tempting. Just the way the backdoor Baker cover. I could see it happening.
Yep. No Brian Branch out there to bloody somebody's nose.
Playing hard.
Yeah, factor that in.
Tampa Bay plus 4.5.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, but yeah, I'm going to do that.
Oh, Jim.
I don't know, Jim. Okay, Tony. We get it.
By the way, fun fact real quick, since John brought it up, there has been one game since 2000 that the Cowboys have had 0 penalties, and that was in 2005 in a 34-13 win over the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Can I, you took me one place. I know we'll get out of here. Can I read you my stat of the week? It involves Rico Dowdle. Okay. So over the last decade, 6 players have had 2 230-plus yard games. Got it? Rushing, receiving combined, right?
Okay.
6 players. Okay. Can you name the other 5? Rico Dowdle is one of them. And I'm not talking consecutive games. Over the last decade, 2 230-yard games. He had them in back-to-back weeks. Can you name the other 5 players who have had 2 230-yard games?
Are we past Chris Johnson era?
You are.
Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Correct.
Amon
Jonas
Green.
Gray?
I'm kidding. Sorry.
Who'd you say, Saad?
Is this after the Jonas Gray performance that the Patriots against?
No, not Jonas. Yeah, not him.
Okay, not that.
There's got to be 2 of them. I think he just had 1.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry, I missed that.
And was that
Walter Payton.
No, last decade here.
Oh, sorry.
McCaffrey?
Ooh, that's a
McCaffrey.
good one.
There we go. Number 2.
Yeah.
I don't think it
The only reason I even guessed McCaffrey though is because it's just been so weird hearing how Rico Dowdle is like crossing all his franchise records with the Panthers in the last 2 weeks.
I love
just
football.
like, what are we doing?
It's a better player.
Yeah.
How do you let him out the door?
How do you? I don't know how.
3 more. I'll tell you. It's 1 running back, 2 wide receivers. Last decade.
Justin Jefferson?
No.
You said receiving or rushing or just rushing?
Well, combined.
Oh, combined. Oh, never mind. Okay.
But it's 1 running back and 2 wide receivers.
Damn, 2
It's
wide
an easier thing for a running back to accomplish, clearly, but
yeah.
one's very obvious at running back.
Go ahead and tell us.
Saquon.
Oh, yeah.
The 2 wide receivers.
Give me the teams real quick on the wide receivers.
One of them plays in the NFC South, and one of them plays in the AFC North.
Yeah, no idea.
Julio Jones and Jamar Chase.
Hmm.
Those 5 players have 2 230-yard games over the last decade. and they were joined by Rico Dowdle, the one guy of those who is not a household name, who kids are not actively out buying jerseys of.
Well, they are
It's
now.
him. And I tell you what, it's all what happens when you play the Dolphins and the Cowboys in back-to-back weeks. Good things will happen. Picking the Cowboys this week, boys. I sure am. We will be back on Sunday night. I'll say late Sunday night after Cowboys and Commanders to chat that up. See if the Cowboys can get back to 3-1, the record we all thought they would be after 7 games. Make sure you're following John and Saad over at The Athletic, doing good work over there. It'd be great if you'd follow that. Follow Kent's Mad About Movies podcast. We really like that. Follow at Haymaker Network. I don't promote this much. I have a new SNL podcast called The After Party. If you check that out, that'd be great. So I don't like to promote myself, though. All right, so we'll see you guys later. Good picks. Good job. There we go. We'll see you next time at the One Star Cowboys podcast.
Why not just start the day fucking it up?
For over a century, Johnny Walker has shared its bold spirit with the game of golf. Now, crafted with Devereaux Golf, Johnny Walker introduces the Johnny Walker Blue Label-inspired Sunday Golf Bag, elevating the game with sleek design, blue label hues, and refined gold accents. Celebrate your hole-in-one with a premium Sunday bag crafted by Devereaux Golf. Submit proof of your achievement to johnnywalker.com/blue-in-1. Please drink responsibly.